Howdy folks, I am Mr. Ryan, and what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how you can be successful in one of my courses. I am a very routine kind of person, and I set up my classes, I design my courses so that when people get into a routine of learning and assessing, they will be successful. Then all you have to do is complete the routine. So what I want to do in this particular video is I want to show you the routines that I expect you to set up and what it is that you need to do to be successful in this course. All right, to start off with, let's talk about what you're going to finish with. Because probably the thing that you care most about in this class is the grade that you're going to get at the end. Now, personally, I think that is not the way to start off. I actually think that the thing that you should care about the most in this class is learning. You should ignore your grade entirely and just try and learn as much as you can. Then, hopefully, your grade will just turn out what you wanted it to be to begin with. Okay? I believe that is the ideal for somebody who is in college and learning. But I'm also not dumb, okay? I'm not blind, I'm not ignorant to the fact that most students really the thing that they care about the most or are most concerned about is their grade, okay? And so let's go ahead and talk about your grade. I try to make the course as simple as possible. To me, less is more. Now that doesn't mean less means fewer questions, but I mean fewer assignments. There are only 16 assignments the entire semester. There are 12 quizzes, and there are 3 unit exams, and then there is one final exam. Now that one final exam covers the entire semester. So you will have questions that you might get on all 3 unit exams on the final exam. Or you'll have questions that would be on all 12 any of the 12 quizzes on the final exam. We call that a comprehensive final exam. Each quiz is worth 40 points. Points? What are points, Mr. Ryan? Well, points are another way of calculating a grade. I basically, instead of doing percentages, because some people get confused with percentages, I just do everything out of 1,000 points. And then what I do is I just move the decimal point over one place, and then you have your final grade. So if somebody gets 1,000 points, you move the decimal point over one place, and they have a 100 in the class. If somebody gets 800 points, that's an 80 in the class. If somebody gets 752 points, that's a 75.2 in the class. Okay? So each quiz is worth 40 points, which basically means that each quiz is worth 4% of your final grade. If you multiply that by 12, you get 480 points, which is 48% of your final grade. So your final grade is determined, 48% of it is determined by your quizzes. Okay? The 3 unit exams, so the unit exams are a little heavier. Okay? They're 130 points each. Now that's more than 3 quizzes. So every one exam is worth more than 3 quizzes. Okay? So that's very important. Or 13% of your final grade. 130 times 3 is 390 points. That's 39% of your final grade. There is only one final exam, and that one exam is also worth 130 points. So the final exam has the exact same strength or the exact same size of an effect on your grade as each of the unit exams. It's 130 points or 13% for a total of 130 points or 13% because there's only one of them. And if you were to add up all of these points here, 480 plus 390 plus 130, that's 1,000 points. If you add up 48% plus 39% plus 13%, that's 100%. And this is how your whole grade is going to stack up. Now, what you can do at any time is you can determine how many points you have, and then you can ask me how many points you should have. And then and then what you can do is you can just divide and find out what your final grade is. Okay? Now, that's only important for people who are in one of my math classes. A typical college semester has 16 weeks. And what I like to do is I like to break down those 16 weeks into even chunks. Now, the very last week of the course, week 16, is going to be devoted just to your final exams. In colleges, that is generally referred to as finals week. Everyone on the whole campus is taking final exams during that week, maybe writing some papers, but for me, it's just the final exam in week 16. That leaves me 15 other weeks for 3 units. So I divide each one evenly. The first unit is weeks 1 through 5. The second unit is weeks 6 through 10. The third unit is weeks 11 through 15. Now, the first 4 weeks of a unit are exactly the same. You're going to do 2 lessons. Each lesson represents a day of learning. So if we were in class, you would come into my classroom twice a week. The first time you'd get lesson 1, the second time you'd get lesson 2. That would be all the learning for the week. And then at the end of the week on Sunday, well, before Sunday, you'll take the quiz. And that's what you're going to do every week. You're going to do 2 lessons and a quiz, 2 lessons and a quiz, 2 lessons and a quiz, 2 lessons and a quiz. That's 4 weeks. Then on the 5th week, there will be no new learning. That entire week will be spent reviewing for the exam and taking the exam. Then, once that first unit is over, we'll go into Unit 2, weeks 6 through 10. Again, 2 lessons, then a quiz. 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 And then you'll review for and take exam 2. Same exact thing for weeks 11 through 15. Now, a part of each one of these weeks is going to include practice and review 4 of the lessons for the quiz. So what we're going to do is we're now going to go into what you're going to do each week. Now, in each week, there are going to be 2 lessons or 2 days. Okay? So if I'm teaching it in class, I call it 2 days. Okay? But if it's online, I typically just call it a lesson because I don't know how much time you're going to spend on the lessons or if you're all do them all in one day. So there's really only 4 things that you have to do every week in a normal week of learning, okay? You're going to do, so for example, you'll do the first lesson. So let's say on one particular week, I guess this would be week 7. You would do lesson 11, then you would do lesson 12. Now you can do them both in the same day or you can split them up. You can put a day between, okay? Or you can spend Monday and Tuesday on lesson 11, Wednesday and Thursday on lesson 12. You can do them all on Friday if you want to. That's at your discretion, okay? But after you've done both of the lessons, and I'm going to in just a few minutes, I'm going to go over what it means to do one day or one lesson, okay? After you've done all the lessons and done all your learning and taken notes and maybe done some practice, okay? You will then take a practice quiz. Now, the practice quiz, you can take it as many times as you want. You can take it as many times as you can in 1 week, okay? But you have to take it, I recommend taking it before you take the graded quiz. You can take it as many times as you want, and after you take it, you can look at the answers, and it will show you what the correct answers are, and it'll show you which ones that you got wrong, so that you can keep practicing until you can do as well as you can. After you are done practicing, taking the practice quiz, you can then attempt the graded quiz. Now the graded quiz, you can only take it 1 time. It's not a hey, can I take it a second time and get only 80% of the score? Nope, you take it once and that is all. You can get all your practice in. If you want to take something multiple times, take the practice quiz multiple times, and they're going to be similar to each other. Then when you take the graded quiz, you can take it only once. I will not reveal the correct answers after you're done, and I will not tell you which ones you got wrong. It will be a complete mystery. All you will have after you take the graded quiz is a number of points, and that will be your grade. The graded quizzes are always due by midnight every single Sunday. Well, in a normal week. On the weeks where you have an exam, the exam will be due by a particular time, but it might not necessarily be Sunday. But all of the quizzes are always due by Sunday at midnight in the week of the lessons that cover that particular quiz. So now what I want to do is I want to talk about what you'll be expected to do for each lesson. Now, for each lesson or each day, it's very simple. You click on the lesson, okay, maybe a folder or a module or something like that, and there will be 1 to 6 video lectures that you need to watch. Now, they're on YouTube, so you can open them up in YouTube. You might even be able to watch them on your phone or on a tablet. Also, you can usually change the speed. If you want to increase the speed to double time or 1.5 times, you can get through it faster, okay? That's assuming you understand what's being said in the lecture. If it's going too fast, you may need to slow it down, okay? You need to watch all of the videos and take notes. Now, I recommend taking notes on paper. I understand that you can take notes by typing it into a Word document or something like that, and maybe that's fine for you. But if you have never tried taking notes on paper, I highly recommend taking notes on paper. There's a connection between the pen and your hand and your brain. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, I've been doing this for a long time, and I always do my best learning by writing out because I can see in my own handwriting, and my brain has this connection with my own handwriting that helps me understand. Okay, sort of slows things down so that my brain can process it. Okay, in some classes, not all of my classes, and not every single lesson, there will be some practice problems, a PDF of a bunch of practice problems. Okay, and what I recommend you do is either print out the PDF or transfer them. Just write them one at a time into your notebook and work out all of the practice problems. If there are practice problems that go along with the lesson, then there will also be an answer key. It'll have all of the answers to all the practice problems so that you can check your answers as you go. Okay? Now you might say, well, why would you include the answers to an assignment that you expect us to do? Well, because I'm not grading it. This is not a graded assignment. This is just for you to learn and get better at what it is that I explained in the lectures. And that's for you. That's not for me. And you may say, well, then how do you know that I'm going to do it? I don't know whether you're going to do it. But you'd be a fool not to do it. Consider this. If I was a doctor and you came to me and said, well, I have a problem, and I said, well, I have some medicine for that, and I gave you a prescription, and then you go down to the pharmacy and you get the prescription, and it says on this thing to take 1 every 6 hours, and you're taking them 3 times a day, okay? If you don't take the medicine that the doctor gives you, you should not expect to get better. You should not expect that your ailment is going to go away. Well, if I give you some practice problems, that's my prescription for learning. These video lectures are my prescription for learning and understanding. So if you come to the exams or the quizzes or the final exam and you don't understand, but you also didn't watch the videos, you didn't take notes, and you didn't work out the practice problems, well, I have nothing for you. If you say, well, I need some help, is there something I can do to improve? My first question is going to be, are you taking notes? Are you writing them on paper? Are you working out all of the practice problems? Are you checking your answers? Are you doing the practice quizzes 3, 4, or 5 times? Okay? Now, you may only need to do the practice quiz 1 time and you're good. But if you're having trouble, you should be doing those practice quizzes a few times. Okay? All right. So that's everything I've just gone over is how to be successful in my course. If you have any questions about this, I'll help you. What we're going to do right now is we're now going to switch over to me at the computer, and I'm going to show you how to log into the course, and I'm going to show you how to navigate through the pages in the course. So here I am. I'm sitting at my laptop. I got my coffee. I've got my materials ready to learn. I'm about to do some online learning. I'm going to watch a lecture and I'm going to take some notes. And then after I'm done with the lecture and taking the notes, I'll be prepared to work on some practice problems, maybe take a practice quiz and that sort of thing, okay? So I've got a calculator here. This is a graphing calculator. You probably don't need one of those, but if you have one, that'll work. A scientific calculator should be just fine. I've got a pen because I prefer to write in pen, but I also have a pencil in case I'm a pencil person. By the way, I really like these. If you ever try, this is a Ticonderoga mechanical pencil. They're a little expensive, but they are amazing. They feel just like regular pencils, and they write just like regular pencils. I've got my graph paper notebook. Now, you may not be a graph paper person, and that's fine, but there are some times in this class where you're going to have to create graphs, so you really should have some graph paper nearby. But I'm the kind of person that even does regular notes on graph paper. And here I am sitting in front of my computer, and I'm about to log in to my online class so that I can watch a lecture and take some notes, okay? So let's all, why don't you join me inside my computer here, and we'll start to get a feel for how we learn in this class. All right, so here we are logging into It's Learning. So I'm going to log in, and once we are logged in, I have a whole bunch of classes that are going to show under my account, but you're looking for either down here college algebra. You're either looking for college algebra or you're looking for pre-calculus. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on the college algebra class, but it would look the same. Pre-calculus looks just the same, just with different lessons. All right, from here you'll see some announcements in the announcement page. So regularly, really what you should be doing is logging in and then going to resources right here. When you click on resources, you'll see over on the left side, this is the navigation menu for the class. Now, the first thing that I want to call to your attention is the syllabus right here. And so you can click on the syllabus. Now, it is your responsibility as a student of this class to know what is in the syllabus. In my opinion, there are two most important parts of the syllabus. You can see here, Georgia Piedmont Technical College. It tells you what the class is. Here are some contact information for me. This is contact information for the dean of the Arts and Sciences School. And then there's a little bit of information about the course, what it is you're supposed to learn, the general subjects. And then down here, here's the evaluation section. Like I said before, there's going to be 12 quizzes that will account for 48%. 3 unit exams at 13% each, and a final exam at 13%. In the end, if you get a 90 to 100, you'll have an A, an 80 to an 89, you'll have a B, a 70 to 79, you'll have a C, a 60 to 69 will give you a D, and anything that this is supposed to say 59 or less, I'm going to have to fix that. A 59 or less will give you an F, not a 50 or less, okay? So then we have the course schedule. This is the part that I think that you should probably print up and keep in your notebook. You can see I go week by week. In week 1, you'll do day 1, and day 2, you'll do the lessons and you'll do the practice sets. And at the end of week 1, you'll take a quiz. But before you take that quiz, you'll do the practice quiz so that you can get some practice and be ready for the quiz. And it has all the way through week 15 down here. And down here it tells you that the final exam is on a particular date, depending on what your course is right now. For this semester, it happens to be the fall semester, so it's going to be from on December 7th. The next part that you're going to want to know is, what is my grade in the class right now? And I recommend that you read through these steps, because if you ever ask me, what's my grade in the class right now? I am going to say, go to the syllabus and find the 5 steps that help you identify your grade in the class, because I don't always know your grade right away. Now, it does say here, step 2 is click on follow-up and reports, then click on gradebook. Follow-up and reports is up here. Follow-up and reports, if you click on that and then click on the gradebook, you'll see all of your scores for all the quizzes and the exams that you've taken so far. Okay, and then there's the college policies through the rest of the syllabus. But I really recommend that you at least print up the first 3 pages of the syllabus and keep them in your notebook. Okay, so then I have a separate video on what to do for the no-show assignment, so you'll need to do that. This link right here is, I hope it works correctly. When you click on that, it has a link into Microsoft Teams, which when you click on that, if I am online in Microsoft Teams, you can get help from me live. Now, that'll usually be in the daytime, maybe between, Not every moment between 8 and 3, but in the evening times I will not be on Microsoft Teams. So the only time you're really going to get tutoring is Monday through Friday in the daytime. Okay. All right. So then what you're going to do is, when you're, since I'm ready to start watching the lessons, and it's the beginning of the semester, you can see the units over here. Unit 1, which is from August 17th till September 20th. Unit 2 is from September 21st to October 25th. And Unit 3 is from October 26th to December 6th. And then the final exam is on December 7th. Now, I do want to point something out. If we go back to the syllabus, I want you to notice that we have Thanksgiving week off. Okay, you'll see here, week 14 is up until November 22nd, but week 15 is November 30th. That means that we have a week off between the 14th, week 14 and week 15. But over here in week 8, you'll see here's the week of fall break, and we do not have fall break off. And that's because a college semester is 16 weeks long. So you will still have to complete all of this work during the fall break. Now, if you want to get it done early, you can get it done early, but you're going to need to send me a message so that I can make sure that it's opened up for you to do it early. All right, so I'm going to go over here to Unit 1. When I click on that, look, you can see all 8 days. Day 1, Day 2, and then there's the first quiz. Day 3, Day 4, and then eventually, I haven't put it in yet, you'll see Quiz 2 here. Day 5, Day 6, then you'll see Quiz 3 here. 7 and 8, you'll see Quiz 4 here, and then we have the Exam 1 review, and then Exam 1. And this is where you'll go in order to take the exam when that time comes, okay, which will be on September 16th. All right, so I'm going to go into Day 1 because I'm just starting the semester. Click on that, and you can see here there are 2 videos. There's Lesson 1.1 and Lesson 1.2. Lesson 1.1 is on the rules of exponents. Lesson 1.2 is on scientific notation. Now, this is a worksheet for practice for Lesson 1.1. There will be another worksheet in here and another key in here by the end of today. I just haven't created it yet, so I'm going to work on it today. So you're going to see another worksheet. And what you would do is, well, let's go ahead into the lesson. We're going to click on Lesson 1.1, Rules of Exponents. And you'll see here that here's the video. And there's a couple ways you can do this. You can just go ahead and start the video, and it'll start playing right Howdy,
here.
Folks.
There
I'm
it is.
Mr.
You can
Ryan,
hear my voice.
And
talking about
what we're going to talk about today is called the rules of exponents.
Here. So that I can keep talking. Now, another way you can watch it, if you want to see it bigger, is you can hit this full screen, or what I do a lot of times is I'll click on the YouTube button to open it up separately in YouTube, so it's a little bigger. And then another thing I like to do is I like to hit the settings here, and this is one of my favorite things about these videos, is I click on the settings, and I go to playback speed, and I change it to 2. Now watch this. I'm going to unmute it. First, I'm going to set it on 2. Then I'm going to unmute it.
Which of the rules? But there's basically, well, there's a bunch of them. I'm going to go over what I call 7 different rules.
And see, I'm talking a little bit faster, right? Now, if you can understand it at that speed, then you can get through the video in 18 minutes instead of 36 minutes. Now, don't do that just to get it over with, because you're supposed to be taking notes. So if I write some stuff down here, you can always click pause, and then you can write the notes down if I'm going a little too fast, or you can slow the video down and then start it back up. But you should be doing these problems along with me as we go. Mute that. You should be doing these problems along the way. Also, you can hit full screen, and now look at that. Now you can see it larger. You can see the board larger. Okay. And I'm sorry that you can see my face larger. I understand that could be a little frustrating, but anyway, that's just a little joke on my part. All right, so I'm going to exit full screen here. And this is how we watch the videos. Now you'll watch the whole video, and if it's going a little too fast for you, you can bring it down to maybe back to normal, so it goes a little slower, the normal speed. All right, and I explain things. You're going to want to write these notes out so that you have notes for the class, and these are the notes that you are going to go to when you're doing the practice work. Okay. All right. Once you're done watching the lesson and you've done all the problems and everything, and you've got your notes, Now you're going to go down here to the Lesson 1-1 PDF. And when you click on that, you can see a bunch of practice problems. All right, and so here's question 1. I know it looks like a lot. There aren't always this many, but these are kind of easy problems. So number 1 is you're just going to multiply what is x to the 3rd times x to the 5th, and then you can write the answer down here. Now, if you want to print this out, that's fine. You can print it out. Or if you want to just write down the questions from the, off of here into your notebook, if you like to do your homework on notebook paper, well, then that's fine too. Okay, you can do that there. After you're done looking at or working out all the problems, you'll go here to Lesson 1-1 Key. Now, I'm not going to click on this because it's going to show all of the answers to these problems. But what I've done under the key basically is I've printed this worksheet out and I have done all the problems so that you can check your answers to the answer key. And you can do this for every single day of learning. Now, I want to remind you that you're going to do 2 of these days every single week. So I recommend doing day 1 on Monday and day 2 on Wednesday, as if you were actually in class with me. Unless you're in pre-calculus. In pre-calculus, you would probably do day 1 on Tuesday and day 2 on Thursday, which is when you would normally be in class with me. Okay? Then, before Sunday, you'll then go into the quiz here, which I have not put in yet. You'll see a quiz under here. It'll say Quiz 1, and you'll click on the quiz. I'm sorry, there will be a practice quiz first. So there will be a practice quiz in here. You'll click on the practice quiz, and you can take that as many times as you want. And then after you're ready for the regular quiz, you can take the regular quiz 1 time, and that'll be under here under Quiz 1. And once you finish Quiz 1, you then are done with the first week of class, and then the following week, you'll go on to here, see, here's August 24th, you'll go on to day 3, and then day 4, and then there will be another quiz under here. In fact, I can already add it in if I want to. I can put in a folder. I can put in Quiz 2, which will be due in this particular semester on, let's see, on 8/30. All right. There we go, and then I'll hit save, and then I can take it from here, and I can put it up here. So after day 4, there we go. It looks like I put it in the wrong place. I did. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm gonna do it again. Anyway, you get the idea. There will be a quiz here under day 4, and then week 3 you'll do days 5 and 6, then day 7 and 8 for week 4. Take another quiz for week 3. Take another quiz for week 4. Then week 5, the entire week is going to be dedicated just to the exam, okay? So that's pretty much it. That is how you learn in this class. If you have any questions, you're going to come up here to Messages, and you're going to click on the Messages, and you'll type in my name, and then you'll send me a message. And as you can see here, I'm Ryan, comma Michael, or Michael Ryan, but you can call me Mr. Ryan, and then I'll respond and give you some direction, okay? All right, so let me know if you have anything, and good luck.